the college basketball trial. Have you guys paid attention to this college basketball trial? I think it's amazing. 3 guys are going to be sent to federal prison because they paid the families of 3 top basketball recruits. And effectively what this jury did by endorsing this as being a crime was they codified the NCAA rules as a legitimate reason why you should go to jail. I disagree with everything about this prosecution. I disagree with everything about this case. I don't think you should go to jail for paying somebody to go play college basketball or college football. I don't believe this is a crime. I said it at the time. I don't believe it's a fraud perpetrated on anybody. I don't believe that the universities themselves did not benefit. If you get a really good player that you would otherwise not get it, then to me, that is not a fraudulent act. A fraud to me is when you claim that you are going to get something and then you don't get that something. In other words, if somebody was paying $100,000 for a top basketball recruit, the basketball recruit promised that he was going to go play for them, and then he didn't go, then I can see that being a fraud. But here they're prosecuting people for getting guys to actually go to college. Here's the other thing that I think is unique about this story. In addition to there not being a fraud, if you do want to prosecute a case, wouldn't the easiest prosecution here be tax evasion? If these guys are all getting paid in cash and their families, I'm sure that on their tax returns, they were not reporting this as income. Why not go get these guys for tax evasion if you are absolutely obsessed with trying to cleanse college basketball and college football of underground payments? If the IRS went after these guys for not reporting this as income on their tax returns, then I think I'd say, you know what, that's probably a crime. They are catching them not reporting their full income. This is cash. That's what the IRS does. This just doesn't make sense as classified. I don't buy into the concept of it being a fraud. Having said that, it's a tremendous win for the NCAA. I put my lawyer hat on now. There have to be a lot of people working at these shoe companies, and there have to be an awful lot of people out there who have been in the business of trying to get guys to go to particular schools that are now terrified that they might get charged with a crime. And so this, to me, is particularly messy situation that effectively has decided we are going to codify NCAA rules and make them a part of the federal tax code and also protect anybody in the universities who is being, in our mind, defrauded. This changes things in a big way. It also raises several interesting questions. Instead of conducting their own investigation, could the NCAA now just hand off their findings to the FBI and let the FBI take advantage of subpoena power, take advantage of compelling testimony under oath, take advantage of all the full might, power, and majesty of the United States government in order to figure out who is being paid? I think there has been a seismic shift, by and large, in the way that fans respond to the concept of improper benefits. I've told you guys on this show before, I'm over it. I'm no longer going to get worked up about a kid who's poor getting money to go play at a rich college. I'm not. And I've told you before that my mind changes sometimes on issues, and I cite particularly the Marcus Lattimore injury. When I saw Marcus Lattimore as a true freshman carry the ball 40 times for 200 yards for South Carolina against Florida, I said, that guy's ready to go pro. Doesn't mean that he has to, but I thought he was ready to go pro. Sophomore year, he tears up one knee. Junior year, he tears up the other knee, and he never plays. Never plays in the NFL. His career is over. And for what? So he can go to college? He can go to college at any point in time. If he goes to the NFL, he can always go back to college. So my position from that point forward has been, if you are 18, you should be able to go out and make as much money as you possibly can. I am a capitalist. I believe you should be able to sell your labor for the highest possible salary. That's what I try to do. I hope one day I'm going to have a $10 million a year salary. I hope one day I'm going to make so much money that I don't even know what to do with it all, because I want to compensate myself to the highest I can for the labor that I'm putting out there. Why do you think I work so hard? 1, because I like what I do. 2, for the money. The same reason that all of you work. The same reason why so many of you, if you won $1.6 billion, would not ever go back to work again, right? And the analogy I would make, and when I make this analogy, people it makes a lot of sense to them. If you told me right now, Clay Travis, when your next contract is up in a year and a half, you are going to make $20 million a year doing radio. But in the next year and a half, you might lose your voice forever and not be able to sign that $20 million contract. You know what I would do? There's no way in hell that I would continue to do radio. There's no way that I would risk my voice every day for 3 hours on the radio to make the money that I make now. Because I would make the $20 million in a year and a half, I would sit out. Doesn't matter what you do. If you are a roofer, if you are a chemistry professor, if you are middle management at a moderately successful company, if you knew you had millions of dollars to make in 17 or 18 months, you would sit out. I definitely wouldn't wake up every morning at 4 a.m. My alarm hasn't even had to go off these mornings since I got back from London. I wake up at 4:15 before my alarm goes off, ready to roll. There's no way I'm waking up at 4:15 if I'm making $20 million in 18 months. I ain't working for 18 months. I'll peace out, and I'll see you guys in 18 months. I'm going to go on vacation all over the world. That's what I would do, and I work hard if I knew that money was out there. So I don't blame anybody for making that decision. I think this is the wrong verdict by this jury. Juries, believe it or not, sometimes do get things wrong. And I think this is the wrong verdict, and I think they have made the wrong decision in essentially codifying NCAA rules as punishable laws.